It goes to the left, to the left. Everything you own is in the box to the left. Everything you own in the box to the left. But the chorus goes, don't you ever for a second get to thinking you're irreplaceable.
Millions of girls are inspired by Beyoncé's music, but for 15-year-old Azaria Jackson, the lyrics of the song Irreplaceable have helped her remain resilient through the most challenging times in her life.
It just inspires me, you know, to not think that it's your fault always. If someone leaves, just stay strong, keep your head up, and better days will come, and you'll find someone else. I feel like people should be more open-minded that it's not the kid's fault that they're in foster care.
For the past 5 years, Azaria has been in the foster care system in the Los Angeles area once her mom became unable to financially support her and her siblings.
When I was 10 and 11, I was actually confused and shocked. Like, look, you're in the foster system. Their rules, what they say, and not my mom. Some nights I would actually cry because I miss my mom and my brothers. It was just different. And at that time, I literally would just pray.
This year, she found family in her caregiver, Ornetta, Azaria's 9th foster home in 5 years. It's hard to feel at home when you're always moving. A triplet, the pandemic made it even more difficult for Azaria to see her siblings.
It's challenging for the children that are not in stable placements right now. Also with visitation, if they had visitation with parents and stuff like that, it all came to a halt during the COVID season. So now it's just like it's up in the air.
Azaria is one of an estimated over 400,000 foster children living in the U.S. 54% of those kids are Black, Latino, and other children of color. The pandemic has hit those communities the hardest.
Young people in care who are Black or brown are already facing, some might say, sort of insurmountable challenges and obstacles. And then when we couple that with the pandemic, it's a reality that we have to be thoughtful around A, understanding, but B, taking action.
A lot of people don't understand that it's not that easy to be a foster kid. Like at school, I do not say I'm a foster kid. I relate to my foster families as brothers and sisters, mom and dad, because I feel it's uncomfortable how people stereotype foster children.
Now as the country braces for a new wave of the pandemic, some of the most vulnerable are in survival mode and feel the pain of isolation at a whole other level.
During COVID, I recently started journaling. I be writing in there about my family and what I hope in the future and that they're all safe.
With family court shutting down, visitation suspended, a reported increase in domestic and child abuse, and simply nowhere to go for many of them, thousands of foster kids around the country are bearing the brunt of the harsh realities of a world paralyzed by coronavirus.
Some young people have had to live in other homes with their foster families, with their caregivers, really waiting to be reconnected and reunified with their parent.
Lindsay Collins is the CEO of First Star, a nonprofit that for the past decade has focused on creating and offering support systems to propel foster youth like Azaria into higher education.
Is the pandemic adding to that trauma and extending that transition time to become, viable members of society?
There is this sense of increased anxiety happening among many youth in the system, especially your teenagers in care. They are not in the system because they have committed a bad act. They are in the system because their parents or their family unit could not take care of them.
We met Azaria earlier this year at the height of the pandemic, separated from her family and her school. Like many students, remote learning, just trying to make the best of it.
Me just praying and doing what I have to do, getting good grades, staying focused and having good behavior was just one thing I just had to just teach myself.
As millions of children across the country have difficulties with online learning, those in lower income communities are struggling with basic access to technology, leaving students like Azaria to have to take matters into her own hands.
I advocated for a laptop because I knew I would need one, but at the time I didn't have one. So I made sure I told my social worker and I emailed my attorney too. Dang, having a laptop for school is the best thing that you could ever have.
For foster youth, this is really important. Lack of connectivity, lack of devices to access classrooms, and then lack of desire and want to attend classes because of the pandemic have led to significant learning loss within the population of foster youth.
I'm a student that like to be more hands-on and talk to the teacher about problems that I understand.
Across the country in Camden, New Jersey, 17-year-old Maryori Hernandez is also trying to navigate the system.
I don't tell many people of my situation. I only tell a few who really close to me. Only a few people know, and then for others, I'm just a normal kid going to school, just with regular problems.
She was 11 years old when she and her 3 sisters were separated after her mom was arrested.
They came in and they were like, we need you guys to come with us. And I was just like, okay, I didn't understand. I was just like, I wasn't going back to my parents.
Her family is undocumented and immigrated from Honduras. Maryori's mother was eventually deported, forcing her 3 children into the foster care system.
At the beginning, me and my sister were separated, and then for a few weeks, and then we came back to another house, another foster house, and we were there for 2 years, the 4 of us together. We searched a couple of families to adopt us, but it never worked out. And then my 2 younger ones got adopted, and me and my big sister didn't. In the past 6 years, I've been into 5 houses. It was tough. I don't like moving. I hate it, because it's you get used to people, you get used to school, to friends, and then they just come out of nowhere and be like, okay, you're moving.
Since then, Maryori and her older sister Jennifer have been working to find a forever home together.
I've been working in adoption, getting adopted with this family.
In 2017, the sisters received welcome news. A family wanted to adopt them. But since then, laws and regulations due to their residency status have slowed down the process. Now they're on a path to citizenship, but with the pandemic, it's all been put on hold.
Everything just slowed down because of COVID.
Teenagers in care often spend the most time in the child welfare system. With the pandemic, those students that even had the chance to be adopted or to end up in guardianship have had to wait even longer.
For these kids, the one thing they crave is the one thing they don't have: stability.
I want to be a regular teenager, get my driver's license, drive, work, just go out whenever I want. And it's been tough because I see my friends and they're like, oh, I'm driving now, and I'm like, yikes, I want to drive.
Through years of uncertainty, Maryori points to her big sister Jennifer as her rock.
If we didn't have each other during all this time, it would be very difficult.
She's been through way worse than me, and the fact that she just walks around and smiles and makes you smile is I enjoy that from her, that she's happy.
Despite her positive outlook, Maryori wants everyone to know there are scars we don't see.
Kids really get lonely, I guess. Kids know how to hide it. They need that support for you to tell them every once in a while you love them, you're there for them.
With only a year and a half left in high school, Maryori has big dreams of what's ahead.
When I picture my future, I see myself either as a lawyer. I think I want to go for immigration lawyer or an actress. I would definitely love to be an actress. I want to just be out there. This is just a little obstacle that I have, and I'll be who I want to be when I get older. This is not going to stop me.
If there's one word to describe kids like Maryori and Azaria, it's undefeated.
When I think of myself in 10 years, I see me already starting my career, doing good, focusing on my job and friends and family.
Azaria was recently able to return to living with her biological mom, a breakthrough she's been dreaming about for years.
I feel like there should be more awareness about foster youth and foster care. Not every foster child is going to go through a good experience like I've been through.
Now, as they take steps into figuring out young adulthood, both girls are focused on giving back.
In my future, if it's possible, I have a good life, I would love to be a foster parent, to be honest, and just help kids.